You know, one of the most incredible mysteries, one of the greatest mysteries of the world is trying to understand the mystery of death. I think the mystery of life, of course, the miracle of life is an incredible mystery to understand as well. But the mystery of death is something that a lot of us actually submerge, we try to move away from, we don't want to talk about, we don't want to look at. When it's inevitable for all of us, I think it's really healthy to take a look at maybe some of the keys that we can examine in order to try to help us to understand. Maybe not fully grasp the mystery of death, but maybe we can use some keys in order to understand it and to move through it with a loved one, or as we near our own death, be able to make some greater sense of it. Hi, I'm David Essel. So from the beginning of time, this mystery has been with us. Until the end of time, it probably will be as well. I don't know if anyone will ever figure it all out, but I wanted to just briefly give you a couple keys to think about. Number one is the importance of grief. When we talk about trying to understand the mystery of death, some individuals will submerge and try to stay away from the whole concept of grief, and yet it is through the grief that we might be able to understand a deeper portion of death. In other words, if you are missing someone who's incredibly important to you, it might be a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a lover, it could be a very good friend. It's critically important for us to explore the grief surrounding death, explore it with ministers and rabbis and priests and nuns and monks in regards to spiritual and the religion world, to explore it with our friends and families, not to move away from it and shun it and submerge it and pretend it isn't there, because that grief is going to come out in a different way. But believe it or not, as oxymoronic as this might sound, it is through exploring that grief, the sadness, the anger, maybe even the rage of why this could happen in a very profound way. It can open a gateway within for a greater understanding of death to come into the conscious mind. Many people believe the subconscious has all the answers and is fully aware. Maybe you might want to call the subconscious your soul, the divine spark within. It's fully aware of everything that's going on in this world and why, and there's a process and there's reasons for all that. But the conscious mind, especially if we suppress emotions, doesn't want to know. Would rather stay enraged, or would rather submerge and use alcohol, food, nicotine, drugs, etc., not to deal with this whole mystery of death. So the first key, I think, is being able to speak openly about the death that we experience with other people when they're leaving our lives and the emotions surrounding it. So whatever those emotions are, I encourage you to work with someone, process through. And maybe this is also a time for you to examine right now the concept of death and emotions if you're not surrounded with someone's recent passing, because that might give you a really great insight into the whole mystery surrounding death. The second key or step I'd like to share with you is that of brevity of life. When we look at the mystery of death, we can say, okay, is this supposed to awaken me? When someone that we love passes, is one of the mysteries and one of the reasons of death is to awaken those that are still on this plane here to be able to do things that we haven't done up until this time. And if that is the case, then there could be a very good reason for the aspect of death. Because sometimes when individuals lose someone, all of a sudden life becomes very precious, and they start to go after and do things that they normally wouldn't go after and do. When I do funeral services, one of the things I'll mention during the service is I'll say to people, you know, like, remember the loved one that passed and their positive key attributes. They left those behind in you in order to manifest into your life those things that you're not doing. So if someone was really extroverted, if someone was a risk taker, or if someone was highly introspective, and if someone was incredibly compassionate, maybe those values that you really appreciated in the person that passed, those things are in your mind in order for you to maximize your life because of the brevity of life. So maybe one of the mysteries of death is to help those still living to take the bull by the horns. You've heard of the bucket list. You know, it's like to rock and roll in life, and that could be one of the mysteries right there. That could be, you know, like one of the keys is to say, yeah, I've been living unconsciously up until this point. I haven't been maximizing my potential, but because my loved one has passed, let me now change. Let me know and understand at the deepest level that I could be leaving today, tomorrow, or in a month. No one knows. And so the mystery of death might be to help us to uncover that which we need to be doing now with the precious minutes left in this existence. Another key step would be the celebration of existence, a celebration of life. In funeral services, we really want to make sure that the person that passed on, that we're celebrating their existence through stories, through tales, through examples, through jokes that they may have loved, whatever it might be, is that we celebrate their existence, because in most spiritual circles, though the person has passed on in the physical form, their spiritual nature is fully intact, and many believe are with us still to this day, regardless of how many days, weeks, months, or years that they're gone, that they're still in our essence. And so we celebrate their life. We celebrate the magic they brought to us, the way they touched us. And for some people, it may not be this unbelievably gorgeous remembrance that you have of them if you felt they were cruel to you or unfair or punishing to you, but there could be 1 or 2 or 3 keys that you remember about them that would be considered incredibly precious, beautiful. And in that mindset, in the mystery of death, then we look back and try to remember and recall the preciousness of their life and what they taught us. Sometimes our teachers come in packages that we don't necessarily appreciate and love until they're gone. And then we look back and say, wow, look at what this individual taught me. So we want to celebrate that aspect of life. The last step that I want to talk about is that concerning faith. For everyone that has a deep spiritual understanding, a deep spiritual condition or religious conviction, we know that faith is incredibly important to build upon, and maybe one of the mysteries of death is to help us to enact our faith at a deeper level. The definition of faith that I use is belief in the yet unseen. So maybe one of the mysteries of death is to get us to enact upon our faith and to go deeper into our faith and to have belief in the hereafter, to have belief in the next life, to have belief in heaven, to have belief in God. And whatever the belief might be, it could be a mystery of death. One of the keys mysteries of death is to help us to examine that concept of faith and to build upon it, because faith isn't built upon by reading. Faith isn't built upon just by simply talking, it's by acting and living. And this could be one of the things that helps us to enact a deeper faith, to reach out to the God that you love, to the higher power that you respect and adore, asking for help in understanding the mystery of death so that we might then have greater life here. If there's someone that you know that could benefit from watching this video, please pass it on. If I can help in any way in regards to services or counseling for people who are missing their loved ones, or also for people on earth right now currently that want to explore the mystery of death, contact me at talkdavid.com. That's the easiest way. Just go to talkdavid.com, send me an email. I'd love to help you. And don't forget to sign up for our YouTube account right here so all of our new videos go to you. Okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.